Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're jumping right into a special gear watch feature to analyze a massive structural shift that is fundamentally changing tattoo studios worldwide, the move to cordless. You know, if you've walked the floor of any major tattoo convention recently, you've definitely noticed it. The familiar buzz of the machines? Yeah, it's still there, but the visual landscape has completely transformed. There are just way fewer cords dragging across workstations, and instead you've got these sleek charging docks lining all the countertops. It really got us wondering how this huge tech upgrade is actually playing out behind the scenes. So let's tackle the big question driving the market right now. Are we witnessing the absolute end of tethered power supplies? Is the traditional RCA cord officially dead? Now, we aren't just talking about some passing fad here. This is a complete top-to-bottom overhaul of how modern studios manage power, workflow, and hygiene. Think about that classic everyday annoyance of rolling your shop chair right over your RCA cord midline. We've all been there, right? Eliminating that is absolutely huge. But as the source material reveals, ditching that cord introduces a whole new set of technical realities we really need to unpack. To get to the bottom of this objectively, we've broken this explainer down into 5 quick parts. We'll start with the cordless shift, take a peek under the hood, map out the market tiers, talk studio safety, and finish up with a rock-solid buyer's checklist. All right, part 1, the cordless shift. A structural change in studio workflow. The breakdown reveals that this shift is nearly identical to what happened in the construction industry when they moved to cordless power tools. We're looking at the exact same battery chemistries and, honestly, the exact same trade-offs. Think about the traditional tethered setup. It's a documented contamination vector. The cord drags across floors, it gets snagged on chair casters, and it inevitably collects spatter. By going wireless, you're totally eliminating that severe hygiene liability and gaining, frankly, incredible freedom of movement. But here is the fascinating trade-off. We are replacing that old cord problem with brand new challenges in sterilization protocols and physical weight management, things artists simply haven't had to deal with before. Moving right along to part 2, under the hood. Battery chemistry and performance realities. So if we look past the sleek plastic housings to the actual physics, we find lithium-ion and lithium polymer cells. Lithium polymer gives you a thinner form factor, which is great for machine balance, while lithium-ion offers a higher energy density. Both typically operate at 5 to 12 volts, putting out roughly 2 to 10 watts. And that's totally fine for most rotary machines, but the real test is stability under pressure. This brings us to a super crucial concept, voltage sag. This phenomenon is exactly what harshly separates professional gear from the budget alternatives the second the needle actually hits the skin. Imagine pulling a perfectly straight, critical line, and halfway through, the motor bogs down because the battery couldn't handle the load. That voltage drop produces inconsistent needle penetration, which is literally the nightmare scenario during a session. When you look at the internal tech across different price points, there's a stark contrast in how different brands handle that sudden load. Take the premium packs from brands like FK Irons and Bishop. They actively use digital regulation circuits. What I found really fascinating here is that these tiny boards actually compensate for the power draw in real time, keeping your voltage completely flat and reliable no matter how hard you push. On the flip side, budget units from brands like Dragonhawk and Mast rely on much simpler analog pass-through designs. With those, the voltage just steadily drifts down as your battery depletes over a long session. It literally changes the entire feel of your machine hour by hour. And then, oh man, there's the heat. I was honestly surprised to learn just how hot these units can get, hitting 50 degrees Celsius. Remember, a traditional corded power supply sits safely over on a desk, dissipating heat far away from you. But a battery pack? It sits directly on the machine, inches from your hand and your client's skin. During heavy sessions that push past 3 hours, internal temps can easily hit that 50-degree mark. Not only is that incredibly uncomfortable for the artist, but it triggers severe thermal throttling. The internal computer will forcefully drop your machine's performance right when you need that consistent power the most. Okay, part 3, market tiers, navigating the Wild West of batteries. The current market is basically the Wild West, but it really breaks down into 3 distinct tiers with totally different engineering philosophies. At the entry level, you have the China-based budget options using generic lithium-ion cells. At around $40 to $120, they're perfectly functional for an occasional solo artist. But they drift after about an hour, and their charging circuits are often unprotected, making them a bit of a liability for a high-volume shop. Then you have the Western premium tier, your FT Irons, your Bishops. These run $200 to $400 a pack, use high-discharge cells that completely eliminate voltage sag, and are ideal for busy pro studios. Finally, there's German Precision. Hygiene integrates the battery directly into the machine body with medical-grade protection circuits. The balance is flawless, but the catch is you have to send the whole machine in for service when the internal battery eventually degrades. But hey, if you are leaning towards those premium setups, you really need to be aware of vendor lock-in. You can't just slap a Bishop magnetic power wand pack onto an FK Irons machine. If you want to mix and match brands, you're forced to use physical adapters. And here's the ultimate irony of that. Those adapters inherently introduce electrical resistance into your setup. Actually, think about it. It completely defeats the purpose to spend $400 on a flawless, sag-free premium battery just to choke its performance with a $15 piece of intermediary metal. It's a huge workflow frustration that studios are dealing with right now. Let's pivot to part 4, studio safety. Hygiene protocols meet electrical engineering. This next stat really caught my attention. 134 degrees Celsius. That is the temperature inside a standard steam autoclave. Now, traditional steel grips handle that effortlessly, sure, but that extreme heat will absolutely destroy the volatile lithium cells and delicate circuit boards in literally any battery pack on the market today. You simply cannot put these in an autoclave, period. It's this fascinating paradox where upgrading to cutting-edge wireless tech actually means your traditional bulletproof sterilization methods are completely incompatible. So because these sensitive power packs can't be autoclaved, rigorous barrier film wrapping is completely non-negotiable for clinical safety. Every single unit requires a fresh wrap for each client. The plastic housing, the display screen, the contacts, all of it must be covered. And you've got to ensure the charging port is sealed up too, replacing the film immediately if it even gets slightly punctured. If a studio skips this, the consequences are severe cross-contamination risks and a practically guaranteed failure on your next health inspection. And when it comes to keeping all those packs juiced up, the entire studio's infrastructure has to evolve. We've all seen studios with a tangled mess of USB cords hanging off a single overloaded wall outlet, right? Well, a full studio might now have a dozen high-capacity battery packs charging all at once. The experts make it very clear. You must avoid daisy-chaining USB-C chargers on a cheap power strip. That is a legitimate, documented fire risk. Upgrading to wireless means upgrading your shop's power management. A dedicated charging cabinet with thermal monitoring and automatic shutoff, that is now essential equipment for sure. And finally, part 5, the buyer's checklist, what you actually need to know. When you're ready to buy, ignore the flashy marketing jargon about smart technology, just focus on these core criteria. First up, verify international safety certifications like IEC 62133 or UL 2054. These rigorously test for overcharge and short circuits. If it's uncertified, do not risk using it professionally. Second, check the weight balance. A pack adds about 80 to 150 grams. If it's designed like a tall stick extending high above the motor, it's going to severely strain your wrist within a couple of hours. Look for low-mounted designs. Lastly, ensure it has at least an IP54 rating. Why? Because the second your standard Calvicide disinfectant wipe liquid seeps into an unrated housing, that expensive battery is completely fried. And when it comes to runtime, do yourself a favor and throw out those absurd 8-hour claims printed on the box. Those are usually measured at very low voltage, with the machine just hovering in the air doing literally zero work. The real-world data paints a very different picture. Running at 8 volts with a 3mm stroke at 100 Hz under heavy shading, premium packs will actually give you about 4 to 5 solid hours. With budget packs, you're really only looking at 2 to 2.5 hours of actual tattooing before they begin to drift or die completely. So practically speaking, that runtime heavily dictates your workflow strategy. Imagine the pure anxiety of feeling your machine slowly die right in the middle of a complex, time-sensitive shading pass. To avoid that, if you are a full-time artist doing full-day bookings, you absolutely need a minimum of 2 battery packs per machine in constant rotation, one working in your hand, one actively on the charger. And crucially, the data strongly recommends still keeping your old, trusty wired RCA power supply tucked away in a drawer. It's the ultimate fail-safe for when, not if, wireless tech throws you a curveball. So, we want to leave you with this final thought about the future of this rapidly changing craft. The RCA cord might indeed be fading into history, but is your studio truly prepared for the unglamorous, highly technical realities of this cordless revolution? Have you fully accounted for the thermal throttling, the strict chemical safety protocols, and the electrical realities required to keep your workflow totally flawless? It's undeniably a massive upgrade, but only if you respect the serious technology behind it. Let that sink in for your own setup. Thanks for joining us on this explainer, and we will catch you on the next one.